trying to make the squeeze play happen going into turn one. He holds back the AT&T slider from Holmes.
Well, we got the Holmes Racing AT&T all fired up. Just warming up the engine before we hit the track in just a little bit here at the Roseburg Indoor. Welcome back to today's video. Excited that you get to hang out with my team for the afternoon. Now, if you've been a longtime viewer of the vlog, you guys know a lot about the Roseburg Indoor. It's a small bull ring located just an hour north of my shop, and they try to run on all the weekends that the Red Bluff Outlaws isn't running, so they don't conflict schedules, and it's another place for all of us to run. Now, I started competing here probably like 10 plus years ago in the beginner box division, and since then have worked my way up through all the classes. It always just made sense to come race here because it is so close to home. It's right up I-5, and you can run a full night, or in this case, you can run back-to-back shows for Saturday and Sunday. And so we're gonna be giving it our all. I'm excited to see how this new car runs. When we scaled it, the numbers looked fantastic. We didn't have to change anything. We're gonna be starting with the same stagger we normally would, and I think it's gonna get around the racetrack, you know, in great shape. So we're gonna head out there, start the night with qualifying, and that will set us up for our heat races after. Carly, can you pull up the time? So we are second quick. We were quick time for most of it, and then Ryan Hirschbach just bumped us down. Car feels good. Hot laps was a little greasy, and then went out to qualify and actually flattened my wing out a little bit. I felt like I had a little bit too much angle, and almost like that was putting so much downforce on the rear tires. It just seemed like I was just popping wheelies. So try to do a little minor adjustment, maybe just to help that a little bit. With the 4-stroke, you have so much torque, it's hard not to. But at the same time, with having all that torque, sometimes when the racetrack is this hooked up, it almost feels like luggy. And right now, that's kind of what I'm experiencing. I'm actually surprised we were as fast as we were. You know, I know our car is getting through the corner good, but it just seems like it doesn't want to get off the corner. So maybe we might need to change a gear, or once it slicks off, I think it's going to be fine like in the past, but it's just so heavy right now. But we'll see if we can hang on to the second spot. Qualifying doesn't really matter, but it was cool that we got a chance to run a couple of laps on this new 18T. Well, we won our heat race from the pole. That was kind of the goal there. A little disappointed in my initial start. I took off at a good time, but I just lifted the front end off the ground and almost gave away the lead. Me and Kyle Woodcock went at it for a lap and a half, and then we had a yellow, and he had a problem, but I was able to just keep the lead the rest of the heat race. Race car felt, you know, okay. Right now, the track, it's still pretty fast, and it's a little rough in a couple of spots, so a lot of it is just keeping your car settled and under you. My only complaint is the car seems to be just a tiny bit free the more I'm on the gas. And it's almost like when I go through the corner, or like when Kyle slid me there on the first lap, like when I had to slow down and try to turn across the track, I couldn't maneuver without feeling like I was gonna head towards the infield. So I could either put this left rear on, which will cut 1/4 of an inch of stagger, or I could put a tiny bit of cross in the car, which would also help, and I might give my wing angle back to where it was. So we're gonna make some adjustments. You guys will know what I did after the second heat because I'm gonna have to think about it, but we're gonna be rolling out from last, however many cars end up running the heat, but right now we're scheduled at 7, so we'll be starting 4th row inside or outside. The nice thing about not having anyone next to you is you can go with whatever lane you choose, but that heat race will be up next, and this will be a more crucial part of our night. Well, we started 7th there and was able to win the heat race in 8 laps. Wasn't really sure where to go, just wanted to make sure to remain patient. That's a big part of outlaw kart racing, is you gotta be so calm behind the wheel because things just change so fast. Sometimes you're in the right lane, sometimes you're in the wrong lane, sometimes you end up in the crash, and sometimes you pick correctly and you just fly through the field. But got into 5th within a lap or 2, and then on the restart, kind of just held my line down low, was able to sneak into 3rd. Top 2 kind of got battling, and I think they both started running opposite lanes from each other, thinking, you know, that they were going up against each other, and I was able to sneak around the high side, and once they both kind of went down low, I was able to use that to my advantage. So I ended up cutting a little bit of stagger. I didn't make any adjustments to our cross, and then I also added just like a tiny bit of wing angle. I felt like it was good, but I still need to carry like more corner speed around the top, and I don't know, just because the 4-stroke is so in the track, but I just don't get through the bumps well, so I need to get through that better in order to win this A-main event and just get my car a little bit more stable. Like, we're so close. We obviously have raw speed, but we just need to put together consistent laps and get the car to where it can do that, especially if we get out front. So we should be rolling off from the pole this A-main event. We'll have a little bit of time before we strap in. Maybe they'll work the racetrack. Well, actually, they probably won't touch the racetrack, but we'll get to look at the surface, see what the lineup is, and go out, and it should be a 25-lap race.
The things got really loud there. For those of you...
We're about to head out for the feature. Mom and Dad are driving our Mule with the spare tires. Off they go. We tried to get our car a little bit more stable since we're rolling off from the pole here. Running a little bit more air pressure on the right side, trying to maybe, you know, with the bumps, try to help with that. And a little bit more air pressure should. And then we cut a tiny bit more stagger as the track's just kind of cleaning off. You know, I don't want to get caught being too loose. I have my wing adjustment, which will be huge. So I have that adjustment in car if I need, but I really don't imagine that I'm gonna have to pull it back because the racetrack just still has a lot of grip. And the more angle and the farther back you are, you just, I mean, if it's slick, it works, but if the track still has grip, you just lift the nose off the ground. It just becomes so light. So we do kind of want to avoid that. Anyway, we got to run a perfect 25 laps here. We could see lap traffic. We could see a lot of restarts. Hopefully we see a lot of green flag laps. I think that would help us. And then just got to be on it on our restarts that we do because it's double file. I'll have a car on my inside or my outside, depending on what I choose. And just got to be smart and change it up and try to run a good race. I think if I can get out front and set my pace, we should be all right. But looking forward to it. We'll see kind of how our changes help the 18T, but so far really happy with how this car is driving, and the racing service is pretty solid tonight as well, to where we're kind of able to move around. So we're gonna go give it all we got and try to bring home a win first night on the car.
perhaps for the final time tonight. We will get back to green flag action. Chase Hill trying to make the squeeze play happen going into turn one. He holds back the AT&T, slider from Holmes. Holmes slides Hill. Hill's got the lead. Holmes is going to get him back as they go down the back straightaway into turn number 3. You've got a new race leader for lap number 23, Tanner Holmes. Chase Hill gets underneath Holmes. Can't make the pass completely. He's going to go back to the top. White flag one more time around and smoking the 69 at Chase Hill. In the 3 out of turn number 4, your winner, Tanner Holmes out of Jacksonville. Chase Hill will finish in second. Steven Snotter third. David Lyons fourth. Kyle Woodcock, your unofficial top 5.
That was actually a pretty fun ending. That was a good race. Well, a super fun finish to tonight's A-main event. Mom, what did it look like from the grandstand?
Heck, it was speed-wise, you guys were neck and neck, and it was just all about, you know, who was gonna pull it off.
Who was gonna pull it off? I agree. And you said our lap times were close.
So close. I was gritting my teeth every yellow. I'm like, I had both of the cameras going. I'm watching it. And you were just so close. I was like, he's gonna get him.
The whole family was watching. Actually ended up being, you know, a good little finish. Chase Hill was probably, you know, maybe a tiny bit better in clean air, you could say, in the 69 car. He just got out front, got a good initial start. I should have been a little bit more on it on the start. I was worried about jumping, and I got too conservative, and the bottom wasn't great. But it's one of those deals. It's like if I would have been leading and he would have been in second. It's just when you give someone so many opportunities to time a restart and try something, eventually it kind of just works. And sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, as you know, the leader changes things up in second, I'm just working on timing and trying different things. And I was able to get through 1 and 2 good there at the end, and then slide him in 3 and 4. Was able to clear that slider, and then from there I just started playing the block game. Like I was going low, just trying to protect my line and still build corner speed so he couldn't run high and try to cross underneath me and have enough power to shoot down the track. But just paced him early. Wish we could have gotten to lap traffic. I think that would have been really fun, but was worried about the changes we made that it would help our car, and honestly, our car was money. Our tires look good. Racetrack didn't even really wear tires. My left rear looks solid. Wish we could have had a couple of less yellows because it would have been fun to get into lap traffic, but for the most part, it actually was a solid race. Car had good speed and started off the weekend in victory lane. So, well, they are working on the surface for tomorrow's race, but I wanted to share with you real quickly our feature winner check. So it feels good that we got the job done tonight. Now I'm kind of at the top of turns 3 and 4, which the high side was extremely fast. You know, last season it felt like some nights ended up being bottom dominant, so I wasn't sure what to expect coming into today, but the bottom was good, but it just wasn't good enough to hang with the high side consistently. And I feel like if our A-main event could have had like 2 or 3 less yellows, granted that's hypocritical because I won the race because of the last yellow, but if we could have got to lap traffic and we wouldn't have had a lot of, just a couple less stoppages, I feel like it would have been a super enjoyable race. I think it was an enjoyable ending, but overall, I mean, as far as like actually racing goes and having to plan it out and try different things, you know, I wasn't moving around a lot, but I was definitely moving around more than the car in front of me. So just happy with our speed. Glad that the new Holmes racing ride is fast. And anyway, big shout out to just my whole family, mom and dad and Carly for, you know, getting my hot rod ripping, as well as the track prep crew for giving us a good surface. And hopefully we will be back tomorrow and try to be in victory lane once again. Good way for us to start the Oregon winter racing season off. Deuces.